Yes, Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern Sports Talk. Good morning, Mr. Joey Areola.
Good morning, Mac. And I don't know much, but I know one thing. I think the NBA should just stop. It's over. Cancel the whole show and call it a day because LeBron James says so. So that's it for me. Cancel it all. It's over.
Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. It's National Global Garbage Person Day. I think it used to be Garbage Man. I think it's nice that they actually pay attention to people who do the dirty work.
Yes.
And I'm going to give a big thank you. You garbage men and women out there, dude, hats off to you, because without y'all, it'd be a disaster going on around here, because I'm not going all the way to the dump every single day. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks. We got a big show. The PGA's United States Open starts today. NBA playoffs today. And NHL playoffs today. And we're going to hold LeBron James accountable today.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Yeah, howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. I'm Mac McGee sitting alongside Joey Areola. Joey, how the hell are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing good, Mac. It's we got a lot to talk about, a lot of discussion. I don't even know where we're going to start today, but I'm just ready to hit the ground running with all the crap we got to lay out.
All right, so the first thing that we'll do, we'll hit the U.S. Open. It begins today. Now, unlike other big championships you're used to, like, man, are they already going? What's the leaderboard? It doesn't start until a little over an hour from now. So you're good on that. It's being played out in Torrey Pines, so San Diego, California. So that's why the late start, which means we get late night golf for the next 4 nights, which I like quite a bit. I really wish they would play more of the U.S. Opens out west so that we can catch it in the evening. We know you can't move the Masters. It's always going to be in Augusta, Georgia. But I would like to see more of the U.S. I would like to see every year either the U.S. Open or the PGA Championship out on the West Coast, because it gives you longer time to play daylight golf. And that's important to people who go, man, dude, I can't just dip out of work every time there's a major sporting event. We get fired about it. So that to me is huge. And we've got the tee times here that we'll go over in a second. Before we do that, who is your win, place, and show for the PGA Championship?
Yeah, let's do it. My show would be Colin Morikawa. I think he's proven the past few tournaments he's had some really good runs, and obviously, my buddy's a big fan of him, so I thought, let me give a little shout out and put him in my show category. But for place, I'm gonna go with my old guy Justin Thomas. I made a lot of bets on him back in the day where I've lost, but I think this tournament he's gonna have a good one. And then on top of it all, how can I not pick Brooks Koepka right now with all the stuff going on with Bryson and everything? I feel like you got to pick one of the two. And I'm not picking the guy who just hits it a million miles down the fairway. I'm going to go with Brooks. So to repeat my win, place, show, I'm going to go Morikawa, Justin Thomas, and Brooks Koepka to win.
So, Koepka's to win.
Okay. Koepka's to win. Colin Morikawa to place or to show, and Justin Thomas.
Okay, gotcha. All right. That's interesting. I hope you're right, because I'm a huge Koepka fan. My only concern with him is the fact that you're going to need your knees and in the U.S. Open with the thick rough, and I don't know if he's 100% healthy. But I hope you're right, because I would love to see is him and DeChambeau last pairing on Sunday and let him duke it out. To repeat mine, in case you missed the show yesterday, we did Tony's show, Gators and Golf. We did it Wednesday and not Friday, because Friday Tony had some things to do, and we decided to go ahead and do it on Wednesday. That way we get it before the US Open. I think we might do this before the British Open as well. So look for that. So definitely check out Tony's show, Gators and Golf, because he breaks down the world of golf like no other. But my pick is I'm going lefty to win. It's a homer pick. It's a, sentimental. Does he go ahead and get that final championship, the one that has eluded him, the only Grand Slam he hasn't won, and in his hometown, no doubt. So that's why I'm taking Phil Mickelson to win it all. But the guy that I would like to see just as much win it is John Rahm. After what he got screwed over in with the COVID nonsense, I've got John Rahm going second, and I've teetered back and forth about whether I thought it would be Rahm or Mickelson, but I think those two will be in the end. And then my number 3, my show, I always like to take someone who's a little off the beaten path. He's not that far off the beaten path, but I'm going with Tony Finau today to finish third. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm excited about this. I want to see when's the last tee time of the day today. Give me 1 second. My computer froze there for a second. Here we go. 5:42 Eastern.
Ooh.
Which means they'll be playing well into 10, 11 o'clock tonight, because that would be 2:42 local time. So, and they're obviously not expecting people to stay up that late because it's Rick Lamb, Michael Johnson, and Carson Shaky. This is the final pairing. They're basically saying, we're not the NBA. We're not stupid. We're not going to put our big names on late at night. We're not. We know our crowd. Most of our golf fans aren't staying up till, the wee hours in the morning. So some of the ones that are going to be fun to watch at 4:36 teeing off, you got Dustin Johnson and McIlroy and Rose. That's a fun one. Let me see let me grab some of the early ones, because I had one that but by the way, Finau tees off actually at 11:02 Eastern today. So him and Daniel Berger and Answer will be going at 11:02. And then I'm trying to find
Didn't DeChambeau say he didn't want to golf with Brooks or something like that? He didn't want to be paired with him or something.
Yeah, and but the thing is, and look, we talked about this earlier in the week and I talked about it with Tony. He respects the decision to do it the way they normally do it. I say it's a television show, and give me Brooks and give me Bryson in the first round.
Yes.
Guarantee it. It's a little stupid on the part. It's very stupid on the part of the PGA not to force them in there. Put them in there together.
Amen.
That's what you want. You want the confrontation.
Yes.
That's what makes sport great. I don't know why they catered and kowtowed to that, but anyways, they will not go off the same tees together. Some of the other ones that'll be going on the 10th tee, the ones I mentioned are going off on the first tee. So the late the last one on the 10 tee, 5:42 Eastern, is Gagne, Westmoreland, and Christopher Crawford. Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows who they are. So that's why they're the late night edition. What are some of the better pairings that you do like? Have you had a chance to look over it?
The pairings themselves, I haven't looked too much into, but if I had to, spot myself with some golfers where I'm like, okay, I'm going to take.
That's going off, by the way, with Justin Thomas and Morikawa at 10:30 this morning.
Wait, they're all three going at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
good one.
That's my win play show.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So, you got to
watch that.
Watch that one. I'm sure there'll be one channel, devoted to that because it's Koepka. Right after that, is it? Phil Mickelson and Schauffele go off at 10:51. So they're all going off. So you do have some early action that's actually interesting. Now they're starting off on the 10th tee and then they'll wrap it around. But Lee Westwood and Stuart St. Paul Casey, that's a fun one. That's at 4:14 Eastern. and some of the others, Patrick Reed and John Rahm at 436. And I'm trying to find DeChambeau. I had him a little while ago, but I pulled up the wrong site. This is very difficult to read on this site. I'm not gonna throw them under the bus. They did a bad job. It's just, it's very Matsuyama and DeChambeau. There it is, 414 Eastern. So there you go. Bubba Watson, Adam Scott, and Sergio. That's a good one. That's at 425, right before the Dustin, Rory, and Justin Rose one. So there you have that. All right, we'll go ahead and get on past the U.S. Open. Looking forward to it today, and we'll definitely be reacting to it all weekend. Okay, so Major League Baseball's crackdown. I wanted to get your take on this because you were on the show yesterday, and when I first sent it to Sean, he kind of scoffed and was laughing at what Glassnow was saying. And then yesterday, I think he heard the whole thing. I think he's came a little bit around on it, but there's the talking heads all over, and especially if you watch Major League Baseball networks, you know which one are the company yes men, okay? Because they will not say anything bad against Major League Baseball. There are certain ones on that station that will never hold Rob Manfred to task. They will never jump on him about the things he said, the thing he thinks he's done. So they're not going to jump on him about this. But when Glassnow says that I have to change the way I throw a baseball, and he says that, did you hear the clip, by the way?
I did. I read some of it and I heard a little bit as well. Yes.
Okay. So when he's sitting there saying that normally, because he's a big guy, and normally he's holding a baseball like an egg, like that, right? And he's just kind of letting it flow and just throwing it. And now he's got it deep in his hand because he wants to make sure that he can control it and letting it rip. He's saying that that's what caused his UCL strain. Now, Pedro Martinez came out and was telling him, hey, I used the rosin bag and sweat, and that's how I kept control of the ball. And that's fair, and I get where Pedro's coming from. But when a young kid has been taught this way coming up, because they were all being taught to use different things. Now he said sunscreen and rosin, which I don't think is that much of a difference between sweat and rosin, to be honest with you. But when it's being taken away from him, I get what he's saying. And he's saying, look, I don't need the spider tack. I don't need the spin rate. I throw hard enough as it is. But what say you on it? Do you think that he's being a crybaby, or do you think he has a bit of a case?
I hate to sometimes jump down the middle, but I go back and forth a little bit because originally I was like, God, this, stop crying. You guys have enough advantage these days. A lot of people are striking out, too many home runs. The ball's not being put in play enough, blah, blah, blah. But when you think more about it, when they've been doing something for so long and haven't been told, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that when it comes to these rules that, everybody from the rosin bag to, suntan lotion to Coca-Cola to the sticky, to this Tic Tac thing they've been using. It's hard to adjust. And I mean, one of his quotes even was, do it in the off season. He pretty much said, a long story short, instead of doing it right in the middle of my year. So
the thing was, they knew about this. The spin rate has been a conversation for 2.5, 3 years.
Correct.
There's no reason why they couldn't have implemented this back in spring training this year. But because you didn't, I don't think it was fair to the players to change the way they throw the baseball until the offseason. And that's
right.
my only complaint with it. I get it. Look, I don't want these low-scoring games. But where the hell were you during the damn offseason this year? Were you in your basement, hiding from the coronavirus? You should have been working on this. And it's once again shows me how incompetent and inept the Manfred has been his entire career, and continues to show that I think by far, it's not even close. He's the worst commissioner in sports, and that's including David Silver, or I'm sorry, Adam Silver, and his terrible job he's done with the NBA. He's still done a better job than what, look, I get that the viewership is up, but that has nothing to do with Manfred. That has to do with the fact that people are gravitating towards baseball and gravitating away from basketball. It's nothing he's done that's implemented. And when you consider the fact, I heard a pretty good rant yesterday talking about the extra innings rules, and now this, and then of course some of the other things that they've done, and changing the rules and changing the sport, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's trying to turn it into like what we had in Atlanta last night. Every game's 10-8. And he's trying to get the pitching out of the game, which is not what baseball fans want. They want a fair game. They want offense when it's pure and organic, but they don't want you to come up with some convoluted way of creating offense.
Well, and it even, you know, goes back to you're saying, you know, they're doing it in the middle of the season, and it, you know, they knew this years ago. I think it was Steve Sonnen actually in a White Sox Indians game where he noticed James Karinchak kept grabbing it at his hat, and I believe that's where a lot of the talk picked up. And it's like it took an announcer to do that. Like, you guys have
Josh
knew
Donaldson. It was Josh Donaldson. When Josh Donaldson,
right, he really fired the cannon.
When Josh Donaldson called out Garrett Cole, that's when it exploded. That's
when it really
and that's what it had, and that's what had to happen for it to be looked at, because it was a bigger name talking about the biggest name in the American League as far as pitching goes, in the biggest market, right? So, I mean, no offense to whatever game you're talking about, but no one even paid attention to that. I'm talking about Josh Donaldson talking about a New York Yankee. That grabs the headlines.
Well, no doubt.
Trevor Bauer tweeted about this 3 or 4 years ago, and no one paid attention to it.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, we've seen some of these pitchers actually, you know, struggle a little bit. I don't know
if Trevor Bauer today in Los Angeles tweeted about it, they're paying attention.
Yeah, not while he's in Cleveland or Cincinnati, right?
Right, exactly.
But you know, even DeGrom left after 3 innings last night when he struck out 8 of the first 9 of the first Chicago Cubs batters. So, you know, we'll see what happens and how this develops, and if, you know, it could really lead to injuries or what have you. We have to see the game play out, but I think I want to see more balls in play. We want to see more runners go first to third. We don't want to see all these, you know, strikeout, home run. Yeah, the home run ball is nice, but we love when the ball's in play and people are running around the bases. That's what makes the sport fun.
Amen to that. Okay, let's go ahead and get our skin into the game before we dive into the NBA playoffs, because a lot has gone down over the last 24 hours. I definitely want to get into what's going on or what's not going on in the NBA. All right, where are you going for your pick of the day against the spread?
I'm actually going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks today. After that embarrassing performance that they put out there, it was 2 nights ago. Now I was just having so many angry moments watching that game, being a Milwaukee Bucks fan right now, as I have some money invested in them. But I'm going with them tonight, and you know,
-5.5. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly, a lot of people are going to go against it. I guarantee you, most of the money will be on Brooklyn tonight, and I'm not afraid to go against it. I just think at home, Durant's not going to be able to play 48 minutes. I don't think Harden's going to give you 46, even though he didn't do much anyway. And I don't think at the same time, Mr. Green is going to put up 25 to 30 points. So I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks spread. A lot of people will probably think I'm crazy, but that's how you have it.
All right, I'm going to go to the world of baseball, and don't let the St. Louis Cardinals fool you. The Chicago Cubs suck, and they are going to get beat again by the Mets. Marcus Stroman's on the mound. Hendricks is on the hill. I hope I'm wrong, but I have seen nothing in this first 3 games of this Chicago-New York series that makes me think that they can beat the Mets. The Cubs are a slight underdog. So the Mets -122 with Stroman on the mound, I'll take that all day and roll the dice. I hope I'm wrong. But you've done none of us any service in Atlanta while we're can't find our way to the win column. We're hoping at least you can take care of business in New York, at least split with them. And now you're just trying to avoid a 4-game sweep of the New York Mets.
After sweeping the Cardinals, how funny baseball
In a
is.
series that you only had to face DeGrom for 2 innings because he came out of the game last night with shoulder soreness. This guy comes out for everything. I know he's probably still going to win the Cy Young, assuming he stays healthy, but he comes out more often than he stays in. And we'll see what happens with that. There's going to be an MRI done today to see if there's any structural damage. It sounded like that it was just soreness. I don't know how the hell you get sore in the middle of a game. So to me, that's a little concerning if I'm a Mets fan, but that's how they were selling it last night on the SNY post.
Yeah.
They were selling it as it was just soreness, but how are you sore in the middle of a game? You normally get sore after a game. Sore in the middle of a game would concern me if I'm a Mets fan.
Blame the damn sticky stuff.
Or a Jacob deGrom owner in my fantasy league. I'll be a little concerned. I can't keep a guy healthy. That league, I've also got Chris Sale, Glass now. Hell, if the guy's on the Severino, if the guy's on the IL, he's on that fantasy team. And somehow I'm in third place. I don't even know how the hell I've done that, but yeah. Soroka's on that damn team.
Once you get healthy, you might jump to first.
Tucker Davidson's on that team. By the way, good news on that, y'all. He did not have structural damage.
Oh, that's good.
So it's not. So they're not expecting a Tommy John surgery. They are going to shut him down and let him rest for 10 days, and then get him ramped back up to see if that cures all. So he'll probably be out about 2 to 3 weeks is what I would guess. All right, let's hit a quick break. When we come back, the NBA. There were some games, big games last night.
Wow.
And LeBron said more stupid things. We'll get into that on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
You're very lucky that you're with somebody as resilient as Frank Reynolds.
You tried to off yourself 2 times in the last 24 hours, Frank.
Here in St. Augustine, Top Gun Supply is the friendly gun shop. Top Gun Supply stocks a wide range of firearms. They buy and sell used guns. Top Gun Supply at 525 State Road 16 in St. Augustine. The friendly gun shop, a proud sponsor of the Armchair Quarterbacks. ACC football covered like no other here on the Armchair Quarterback.
Against the blitz. Touchdown, Florida State. Rock Preston scores the touchdown. And now it's Bowden's decision. And he sends Mowry onto the field right away. Danny Cannell is the holder. Mowry ties it. This game is over. A 31-31 tie. A 31-31 tie.
A deep throw by Lawrence, a lot of contact. Justin Ross broke free from it. He's down in the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson.
Justin Ross, a freshman wide receiver, big, rangy, and Trevor Lawrence knows, throw it up against that single coverage, give him a chance to make a play on a 50-50 ball.
If you're a fan of the ACC, pull up an armchair. You're home.
Everybody grab it out there. Nobody touch it. Just grab it, everybody. Grab. Nobody touch it.
You're riding Morning Shotgun with the Armchair Quarterbacks. We're here weekdays. Your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar. You can listen with your whole family.
Hey, Jacksonville, winter is the perfect time to start planning for your healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live. We cover Braves baseball, Red Sox, Yankees, Rays, Cubs and Cardinals, and the rest of Major League Baseball every day. Subscribe and like us today. your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
Why don't you go grab us some coffee? Come on, are you kidding? Better yet, go to the ear, nose, and throat department. Get your hearing checked.
Good morning. Welcome back here to the Armchair Quarterbacks, YouTube Live, CBS Sports Radio. Joe Ariola and Mac McGee coming to you from the Armchair Quarterbacks studios on the First Coast here in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, let's go into the NBA, my man. All right, first of all, before we get into the whole LeBron ridiculousness, let's talk about what actually matters, which is the games last night. Okay, and for folks who did not stay up late, let's tackle that one first, because Kawhi Leonard didn't play last night, and somehow they let playoff P score 37 points on their home floor and beat the Utah Jazz. And I'm starting to wonder about the toughness of the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, et cetera, et cetera. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the series as a whole, it was 2-0, everything going great for Utah. Donovan Mitchell scoring at will. Then it gets to 2-2, and we find out Kawhi's out, and we're like, Utah at home, there's no chance they lose this game. As you said, Paul George has struggled many times in his career in the playoffs. Yet he puts up 37 points and 16 rebounds. I mean, and 5 assists on top of that. Between him, Reggie Jackson putting up 22 points, also Marcus Morris Sr. putting up 25. I mean, they came to play last night, and even Clarkson off the bench put up 15. So they stepped up and without Kawhi's presence. And man, I was just kind of shocked by the whole thing.
Yeah, I was fading off to sleep, and I was like, they're going to figure out how to win this game, right? And I made it till midway through the fourth quarter, and I was like, they're not going to win this game. This is it. This is it. Like, because they get outscored 32-18 in the third quarter at home coming out of the break. You've got to put the pedal to the metal. I've thought all year long that Utah might be a fraud, that they might be a regular season champion type team. And they're starting to rear its ugly head. The Clippers, look, man, if you don't have Kawhi Leonard, there's no excuse to lose to that team.
No excuse. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he only shot 6 of 19 and 4 of 14 from 3. On your home court, you cannot do that when you're only a scorer.
No, I mean, it's pathetic. That's just.
Bogdanovich had 32 for them to lead the way. I was like, what?
People lost big money last night.
Oh, huge.
I did not take anything in the NBA last night, but I can only imagine that people lost big money because, a lot of money went on Utah and Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, talk about a choke.
Oh, my.
They choked, man. There's no other word for it. You get outscored 40-19 on your home floor in the fourth quarter after having a commanding lead.
And you want an interesting stat here.
69-44 in the second half. 69-44 after they had a huge lead at the half.
No, that's insane stats. And another insane stat, Ben Simmons has now missed 44 free throws in 10 playoff games. It took Steve Nash 120 playoff games to miss that many free throws. So you almost got to start taking them out when it gets to the end of the game. You can't have that man on the free throw line missing more than half of his free throws every time you.
Embiid, his entire career, he's been like that.
all career, the whole thing.
Shaquille O'Neal was dreadful at the free throw line.
And at least Shaq was a center. Come on.
I mean, between him, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons is garbage. This team was flawed. I was a little surprised considering the makeup that Doc Rivers even took the job. Because I think the team really needs to be busted up. And I know Sixers fans are like, what are you, nuts? We've got such a talented team. You're going to win. You are the Utah Jazz of the East because you're going to look good during the regular season. But when you get in a playoff series like they are right now, it gets exposed that you don't have guys you can't go to in the clutch. And Ben Simmons, how many years has he been in the league? And he hasn't developed a jump shot yet. So why is that? Why is it? It's because you don't practice your craft during the off season.
Well, and sometimes to me too, there's a difference between what we have as athletes and what we have as, pure basketball players like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, even though I have a lot on him, and a guy like Steph Curry. They're pure basketball players. When you watch Giannis too, they don't even go within 5 feet of the 3-point line when he's back there because he's not going to shoot. To me, Giannis and Ben Simmons are great athletes, but are they really excelling at the game if they can't shoot the basketball? And it's bothersome to me.
Athletes is one thing. A good player is a totally different thing.
Correct. And that's what I'm trying to say here. It frustrates me so much.
The reason why Usain Bolt didn't make it as an NFL wide receiver.
Correct.
Because he's fast, but that's it. But he can't get off the break. Remember when all that nonsense was going on?
Yeah, it's like, okay, this guy can run a straight line as fast as I'll be. Let's put him in. No.
Yeah, but the moment I pop you in the chest at the line of the scrimmage, how are you going to fight off of that? Because I don't have to cover you. I just have to make sure that you don't get the ball in your hands. So we need about 4 or 5 seconds of holding you up at the line. Yeah, so it's the same thing. And if he was serious about it, I'm sure I'm sure he's a good enough athlete where he would have practiced the craft. If he was really committed at the time, take 2 or 3 years, Usain Bolt could have been a wide receiver. He probably did that for about 3 weeks and go, dude, I'm just going to go run. It makes so much more money running than you'll ever do it. these track stars, people don't realize how much money they make internationally.
Stick to what you're good at.
Well, I mean, that stuff's big and it's important.
Oh, yeah.
Over in Europe and whatnot. Here, where the U.S. track trials are on, he goes, all right, well, just put that on C-SPAN because I'm trying to watch something real over here. Yeah, Americans, other than when the U.S. Olympics or the Olympics show up once every 4 years, no one pays attention to track. But the point is, yes. I just think it's a disaster and it is embarrassing. I would love to hear Philadelphia radio this morning.
Oh, I mean, the boos in that place during the fourth quarter and after the game were some of the loudest. It was a packed house. When you go up, I can't believe what they honestly did. You're on your home court, like you said. It's one thing if you're on the road. Sometimes you gain that momentum and you can't stop scoring. But when you're on your home court and you're letting the smallest guy in the NBA, and I know he's phenomenal, he put up 39 points, Trae Young, just, fleece you like that, and you can't make a free throw, pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it's, well, tonight, here comes another one. Because I thought it was embarrassing that Milwaukee didn't win their game the other night.
Agreed.
They got out-coached. Steve Nash put Harden out there as a decoy. He did nothing in that game. I think he was 1 of 10 from the field.
Well, and it's funny you say that too, because they said if Brooklyn would have lost, Steve Nash would have been lashed because of all the minutes he played his guys. But Budenholzer, he looked even worse for Milwaukee. He didn't take advantage of James Harden. Durant played all 48 minutes. Can we see some Giannis covering Durant a little bit too with his length? If he's not just going to, go basket for basket with Durant, at least put him on him a little bit of the time. Total flopping on the coaching of Milwaukee.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see what they do tonight, because if it were me, I'm going to make James Harden beat me.
Yes.
On his one leg. And we'll see what he's really got. And maybe he just needed a game to, if he's James Harden of old, you have no chance anyways.
Well, and Charles Barkley, just real quick, he had a funny ass comment at halftime of the game. When Milwaukee was up a lot, he goes, "This team's going to win this finals championship, but this has to be the stupidest team I've ever seen for all the talent they have." And it showed in the second half how dumb they are, unfortunately.
Who's going to win the finals championship?
Well, at halftime, when the Milwaukee Bucks were kicking Brooklyn's butt in Game 5, Barkley goes, "It looks like Milwaukee's going to win it all, but this is the dumbest team I've ever seen."
Never going to win it. Milwaukee's not going to win it all. Milwaukee, even if they get past, they're not going to beat the Atlanta Hawks.
You don't think so?
No, Milwaukee, no way.
I think if they got past,
they have Brooklyn, no heart. They will. Dude, Trae Young will grab Giannis's heart and rip it out and throw it on the floor. That's a terrible statement by Barkley.
Well, no, it's a terrible.
If they find a way to beat Atlanta or Philly, but I really think Atlanta's going to win this series now. Right. I think the Suns will just trounce them. I think Milwaukee's a huge fraud.
I mean, they have been for years, unfortunately. As we know, Giannis is a 2-time MVP, and they can never grab towards the finals. A lot of stuff happened in the NBA yesterday. It was insane. You speak of the Suns. I don't even know what's going on with CP3 right now. I didn't even know COVID protocol was still really a thing, to be honest. Like, I know.
That thing is so stupid. It is so dumb. I just found out he's had the damn jab.
Correct.
Why is he taking the coronavirus test? And it's because, and what they found out was, or has been released, the NBA protocols do not match the CDC's.
Really?
That's BS.
How do you not go?
Players, I'm like, what are you doing, you incompetent boob? Silver, what are you doing? We had to shut this entire planet down because the CDC this and the CDC that. They finally let it open, and you're saying, well, you're trust the science. Well, you're supposed to trust science. I'm not going to do that today. What the hell are you doing? Are you intentionally trying to screw these guys over?
Isn't Chris Paul the leader of the Players Association?
I know one thing. He's not getting any younger.
True.
I mean, it's stupid. They have absolutely, positively ruined. Now, look, hopefully he comes out of it and he's ready for the series. If the series doesn't go 7, it's going to start Sunday. If it goes 7, it'll start Tuesday. But they're saying that he tested positive or something. I don't know. You either A, have to wait 10 days or B, test back-to-back negatives. But this is stupid. You're still doing this?
Like I said, I didn't even think it was
December of this year. I mean, of this past year. All those protocols have been changed by the CDC. If you've had the jab, you don't, because you're going to test positive.
No, and that's why I was just kind of shocked when I heard all that. I mean, I was shocked by a lot of NBA news yesterday, but especially this one. This is playoff time. He's tested positive for it, and he's been stung with the thing, with the shot and all. Let's let the players play, and we have enough injuries in all sports. Let's get this COVID crap aside and play the game.
Yeah, I think a couple of guys have been going back and forth about the Clippers game, and everyone was just basically in shock of the Clippers loss.
Oh, yeah, I was so shocked.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell happened? And I went back and rewatched it this morning, catching up through highlights and stuff. I was like, they just didn't. But this whole thing with Chris Paul is asinine. It's so stupid. You're supposed to get the jab so you don't have to take the freaking test. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, why would
you're laying in bed with a fever? Okay, obviously you're not going to play. But if you've had the jab, that's it. It's a wrap.
That's why some people take it, right? So they don't have to deal with the rest of the crap.
And to your point about him being a part of the players, he should have stood up and said, I'm not taking this. Why am I taking this? Why are we taking this? Why do I have to get tested when the LeBron James anti-vaxxers out there aren't getting, are they should have to get tested if they haven't gotten vaccinated. But if you've gone through the thing for getting vaccinated, that's it. I'm done. See you next year. Anyway,
Adios.
So
what do you think? What do you think was dumber from yesterday then? That Chris Paul situation or the firing of Van Gundy?
that was strange, but it didn't shock me. And
it didn't shock me either.
And the only reason why I say that is because they are going to blame everyone but themselves on how they constructed that roster. So Van Gundy getting fired, I think it was unfair after 1 year getting fired. I think he should have definitely been able to at least start this coming year. I mean, what the hell does he care? He's going to take money that he's owed, and he's going to go broadcast.
True.
And so what the hell does he care? But I'm sure it still hurts. But it's a knee-jerk reaction. It makes no sense. You didn't put together a very good roster, and you expect, we've got Zion. That can't be the only thing you have. You come on.
Can't win with one guy.
He's a kid. You can't.
Yes, true. Some people forget that.
I mean, jeez. It's so incredibly dumb. So, yeah, that one was a head scratcher. But then I think the dumbest thing that happened yesterday in the NBA was LeBron James's tweets.
Cringe.
What in the God's name happened there?
Do you think people even like him anymore? Like, honestly, like,
no, who the hell would like him?
Even NBA players, I'm saying. Like,
nobody likes him.
Like,
the only reason why you go and play for LeBron is because you think you're going to get a ring.
Correct.
But nobody actually likes him.
We were tagging back and forth in a little bit of Twitter action yesterday. I had to drop my phone and take a deep breath because I could have just went in a lot harder than I did. But being social media, I wanted to keep it calm. But just asinine and totally about himself, as always.
They all didn't want to listen to me about the start of the season. I knew exactly what would happen. Okay, first of all, shut up. Hindsight's 2020. No one ever wants to hear that. And not to mention the fact you can't necessarily attribute the injuries to the short layoff, because most of these NBA players don't play every game. So they're taking incredible amounts of rest. And I'm not talking about through injury. I'm talking about they don't play. So I'd never want to hear an NBA player say, it's too tough, it's too long. They used to play all 82 games.
And now
they're Magic, Jordan, they all played it all. And now they're averaging missing around 10 to 15 games a year. So don't tell me about that.
And two things he was wrong on. They played 73 games this year. And the reason they started 2 weeks earlier was to give no back-to-back games. So they gave more breaks. He didn't even mention any of that.
And then he says it's the lack of pure rim rest before starting back up. I guess that's a slang term that they use or he uses. Okay, I'll let him slide on that. But possibly 9 All-Stars have missed playoff games, most in league history. I'd have to go back and look at that. I don't know if that's even true because it's coming from LeBron. So I always assume he's wrong.
Always.
Until I can prove that what he said is right. This is the best time of year for our league and our fans, but missing a ton of our fave players. It's insane. If one person that know about the body, you freaking illiterate dumbass, that know about the body.
These are cringe to even read.
God, does no one proofread yours?
You make millions.
And how it works all year round. It's me. And I love how he goes, it's me. Like he's the only guy. He's so self-absorbed. It's me. If anyone knows how things work around the body, okay, first of all, it's not you, because let's put it out here. You're not a doctor. You're not even you're not even educated. So how the hell is it you? everyone's body's different. So I understand how you can understand your body. I get that. But it's not you when it comes to what really goes down in the works of the body. Okay. He stays in shape. I'm not going to I give him credit for that. But you're not a doctor. Although you play one on Twitter, you also play a political activist until you realize you put your foot in your mouth. And then he hasn't talked about that in weeks, has he? He's waiting for the next thing so he can, virtue signal through that. And then it says, I speak for the health of all of our players, and I hate to see this many injuries this time of year. Sorry, fans. Wish you guys were seeing your favorite guys now. That's an asinine statement. It's assuming that he is more popular, which he's not. People hate him, than guys who are still in the tournament. Guys like the Greek Freak, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Trae Young. You are assuming that people would rather see your hair plugged ass running up and down the court with unibrow than people would like to see the guys who are still in the tournament.
Well, and these comments came a day after Kevin Durant played 48 minutes and James Harden hobbled play 46. And it was literally a day after, and that's what everyone's talking about. It's literally to be about himself. He's just salty. It's the first time besides the year he was injured and they missed the playoffs, Lakers, where he hasn't made a deep run. And that's all he wants to do is have his name in the headlines.
Did you watch the show at all yesterday?
I missed yesterday. I was swamped.
Okay. Well, you got to go back and watch 10, 15 minutes.
I'll just watch the whole damn thing tonight.
10, 15 minutes into the show, I play the clip of Glass Now.
Okay.
Okay. And you got to see what Sean's doing, because I look up.
Uh-oh.
And so we've got the audio playing, but he knows the video is still on, because it's not like I've got a video of Glass Now, right?
Right.
And I look up, and I'm sitting there, and it's a lengthy audio. It's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But I wanted to make sure that we got the full thing. About 15, 20 seconds into it, Sean grabs an emery board and starts filing his nails. And I lose it, man. I was like, what am I looking at? And then of course, Brian piles on in the comments. Yeah. His man card away and everything. So which is a bigger bitch move? Filing your nails when you're supposed to, because I showed my wife last night, she couldn't believe it. I was like this is supposed to be a sports talk show where it's a bunch of guys sitting around, talking sports, and I look up and one of our guys is filing his nails. I was like, what's next? Joey's gonna show up in curlers in his hair tomorrow morning. Justin's gonna have a house coat on. On Friday. Like what are we doing here?
Hey, I had a hard enough time.
What's a bigger move to take away your man card? That or the fact that LeBron James gets hair plugs?
Well, as much as
I got it, go bald. Be a man. Jordan did it. We're all going to do it. Be a man. Just go bald.
Maybe Mina Kimes told him to do it.
Yeah. Mina Kimes looks like more of a man than what Sean did. I'm literally, or however the hell you do it.
I love you, Sean.
I hope he's watching, because I was like, what am I? And I brought it up to him when he came out of there, and he was like, anyways, just have to go back and watch it. But yeah.
Oh, that's
I wanted to make sure I mentioned that today.
That is too good.
We're gonna run out of time, but NHL playoffs real quick. The Habs, they tied it up. I think a lot of people probably missed out on that. I did not winner chicken dinner. I took the Habs on the money line.
So did I.
Yes. So they win it, and they're gonna head back to Montreal. It's a new series tonight.
Ooh.
This was the play I was gonna pick, but I went baseball. But I'm telling you, the Islanders are underdogs to Tampa Bay in New York coming back. That's one of the most raucous stadiums in all of sports. This is a huge game, and I think the Islanders are going to get that Game 3 W.
Will that be a packed house tonight?
Oh yeah.
I was just making sure that everything, because it's New York. I wasn't sure if they still maybe had some limitations on the inside or anything like that. But that's good. If they got a packed house, that series is 1-1. Whoo, we're coming in for a real good game right there, because the Lightning, after they lost their first game at home, I don't think they're going to be off the mark too much here either. Honestly, it's going to be a battle of. I said Tampa would make the Stanley Cup, but this is a big game 3, and it's on New York as ice. So I'm interested to see who comes out
I
victorious.
do think they're going to split, but I just got a feeling that tonight New York's going to be on fire, and they're going to get that W. And I do think Tampa Bay will get a win in New York. I don't think it's going to go back to Tampa Bay down 3-1. This series very well could go 7. I mean, this has been a great series so far. There's going to be some chippiness because there were some fisticuffs at the end of at the end of game 2, which was a lot of fun. People didn't see that, and you go back and watch that video. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Nothing better than hockey playoffs.
Yeah, and you're at the conference finals right now, and hockey had a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
they're bitching and moaning.
And they're being more physical in one day than NBA in a week.
Jeez, LeBron.
Just terrible.
You're just such a putz.
El Putzo, I like that one.
Oh, my God. It's ridiculous. Every time you think he said something just the dumbest thing he'll ever say, he ups the ante. All right, it's time to turn back time and get the hell out of here. Here we go. Somewhere we will get to that freaking thing. Here we go. Boom. All right. On this date in sports history, player manager Joe Cronin of the Red Sox hits 2 3-run pinch hit home runs in a doubleheader.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Your manager is it because they used to do that quite a lot in baseball where the manager was also an extra player. That's no longer the case, but can you imagine that you hit 2 3-run pinch hit home runs in a doubleheader?
No big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And also on this date in 1962, U.S. Open men's golf, which obviously begins today in Oakmont, Jack Nicklaus wins his first major title by 3 strokes in an 18-hole playoff with Arnold Palmer. That's the best part about the U.S. Open. If we get a tie on Sunday, they won't just go back and play the next hole or sudden death. They'll go full 18 holes the next day.
Really?
Yeah, it hasn't happened in quite a while. I'm trying to remember the last time. It's been a while. I feel like it's been. I don't know if it's happened in this century.
I was going to say I would
I'll
love
have to look
see
that up. I'll have to look that up. I remember it happening specifically where I know it happened. Well, yeah, it did because it was early 2000s. But I remember where I was working at where that was going on, and we got free 18. But it's been very, very rare, and that's the best part is that they're the only one that does that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, birthdays. It's your birthday today. All right. You want to get dead or alive?
Dead.
All right, dead. You want to get a guy dead? The great Tommy Burns of 1881 born on this date. Canadian boxer. He died in 1955. He was a bare knuckle. He was one of the last bare knuckle boxers back in the day. Let's get a guy who's alive as far as he's alive as far as we know. We say this. It's been within the last 5 to 10 minutes. So check on this guy. Popeye Jones. Do you remember him?
I remember the name, yes.
Born in Dresden, Tennessee, played for the Dallas Mavericks. I think that's where he was most remembered for. Also played for the Raptors. He is 51 years old today.
Wow.
And Venus Williams is 41 years old. The preferred Williams. I was always a Venus fan, never a Serena fan. Mainly because Venus was the underdog.
True.
Right.
I can respect that.
What's your walk-off for the day?
Giannis, I'm calling you out. You've had a career of regular season MVPs. You've done it all, but they do not call you clutch. You have proven not to be clutch. You can't shoot the three-pointer wide open. Step up tonight and take Kevin Durant down. I don't care if you have to do it covering him. I don't care if you have to do it scoring the basketball or going to the rim at will. You win this game tonight and force a game 7. There is no reason with the injuries Brooklyn has, we are not seeing a game 7 in the series. Get it done.
All right, my walk-off for the day, it's National Mascot Day.
Oh,
which is why
truck driver and mascot, or garbage man and mascot day.
Yeah. So this is why we got this guy, the best mascot in sports, the San Diego Chicken.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, outside of college mascots are a different level, but as far as professional mascots, there is not. I don't like Blooper and all those other dumbass ones that basically just look like the Philadelphia.
The Philly Fanatic.
Yeah, they all just look like him. And I've never, they got the big bellies, they shake them all around. This is the San Diego Chicken. I saw the San Diego Chicken live in Jacksonville when I was a kid, sometime in the 1980s. And it was a big deal that the San Diego Chicken was coming to town, which was so stupid because like you could have thrown that suit on anybody, could have just mailed it and said, hey dude, you do it. No one's going to know the difference. But anyways, I remember going and seeing the San Diego Chicken. It was like, when you're a kid, it was that kind of big level stuff. It was up there with like going and watching the Harlem Globetrotters nowadays. So
shout out Benny.
Well, back then, I don't think anyone cares about the Globetrotters anymore. But anyways, go ahead.
No, I was just saying shout out to Benny the Bull. He's a good one as well.
Yeah, all those, I just can't get behind those. But the San Diego Chicken, I don't know. I think it's the nostalgia.
I hear you. I remember seeing him at the stadium.
All right, programming note, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. We've got the neighborhood play. Cubs, White Sox, Joey, and Christian Pledge. Should be a good show this week as we're going to have a lot to get into, especially if you get swept by the freaking Mets today.
Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
Get the broom out. It's
we just brought a broom out. Now we got to put it in the closet. Jesus.
We'll try to help you out. We're 4 at home against the Cardinals, but it ain't looking good. Not in any shape or form. All right, brother. Also, we got Braves Country coming to you in just a few moments, and also, of course, the new show you started, Take Me Out to the Ball Game today, where you just kind of get caught up on the world of sports. We'll see you.
Have a good one.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette, please get another.